Okay. Fergie, I like that. All right, from the outside looking in, many A-list celebrity couples seem to have a perfect relationship. However, the fairy tale fantasy that we may believe is the ideal life can turn out not to be so true.
Right. Local professional matchmaker Athena Grace is here today to explain what goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood and how it's a whole different story sometimes than what we really see, and more of why we get so obsessed with celebrity breakups when we see them. We take them personally almost.
Well, you know we do. I'm sort of the last person to know about any celebrity gossip, but I can tell you my junior high school daughter was devastated about Chris Pratt and Anna Faris.
Right.
You know, she really was upset, and it looks like they have this perfect relationship, and sometimes when that falls apart, we wonder what that means for us and whether we can actually make our relationships work.
Right, if they can't do it, how can we do it?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Well, I think we look at them and we say you have beautiful homes, you have personal trainers, you have chefs, you have cars, you have everything that would, we think, make a relationship easier.
Right.
And you still can't make it work.
Right. If these two gorgeous, successful people can't make it work, what does that mean about my relationship?
Right.
And you know, the truth behind it is there's no such thing. It's that perfect couple syndrome that doesn't exist. No one's going to check off every box on your list.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and we all face it now. We all have social media. It used to be just celebrities that were on the news.
Right.
But now we all have Facebook and Instagram. And how many times have you seen a friend that had such a great relationship and then you find out they're getting divorced?
Right.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, how did
and
that
there's
happen?
so much pressure to be perfect, but this isn't the movies, you know? We're not watching it happily ever after. It's real life.
So is it, I blame Disney, you know, these fairy tales that we grow up with. Right, but where does that come from and why does it continue to exist? Do we all wish for a perfect relationship?
Well, we want to believe in love.
We do, and we want to believe that we have that soulmate and that it's just going to be perfect. And we see people with perfect photos and then they're happily ever after, they do fun things together, but everyone has fights, and I think it does come from childhood and this idea that, you know, and it's just lunch. We see a lot of clients, you know, come in and they have a checklist that they want before they even meet anyone because they already want that perfect couple that they think exists, and you know, it just doesn't. So we want to look around and see real life. And
well, we just saw some footage of Beyonce and Jay-Z and what happened with them, you know, the cheating, the scandal, if you will, and how they just kind of unfolded all of that for us to learn from or watch play out. However, I feel like sometimes we forget that they are real people.
Real people.
Right.
Right, with real lives and their own problems. And
I mean, they may not have the same problem we do about how do we afford this Hawaiian vacation, but they have problems.
Still, that just shows how simple communication is between two people, that
right, exactly.
No money can make it better or worse, you know, like
no, and
you either like somebody or you don't.
Or you don't. And the downs also create the ups. So, you know, in my experience with when you go through a tough time and you make it through with that person, then you can experience real happiness with them. So, you know, it's just as important to be able to work through the tough times.
So, as a dating expert, what is your advice to people when they're going into a relationship? Stop looking for perfect?
Stop looking for perfect. Keep it real. You have a couple important things to you, and as long as you guys can find that together, then you know.
So what is, you said people sometimes come in with this checklist of what they want. I'm assuming that it's pretty much superficial. An MBA, a Mercedes, you know, tall, dark, and handsome, or whatever. So what is a checklist? What should it be? What should be on the checklist?
I like to tell my clients that, you know, pick 5 things. What are the 5, not 4 and not 6. That list can go and go, you know, if you want to. Just 5. What are the most important things to you? And if they have the same core values and you can laugh together, because laughter is so important, and do things together, then just be ready for those downs because they're gonna come and you can move through them. You know, no one that's celebrating their golden anniversary didn't have any fights, you know, along the way. So different stages of life, there are different things in, but I would say just don't go in with that idea that the only way you're going to be happy is if it's perfect. And the first time a hard ball comes your way, you're just gone.
Right, and a lot of times it happens after the wedding in the first year where they're like, whoa, what's going on? Because you're so consumed with planning the wedding that people are like, then they get into the actual relationship and it's like, oh my God. But when it comes to the dating, yeah. And I do blame the apps because we have so much access to looking at people now and checking out before we even get to know them, and we check off like, I don't like that shirt.
Right.
You know, the most superficial things that we're eliminating people from our lives.
Right.
He likes what?
Right.
He eats that?
Right.
You already can, so.
Yeah.
But
Great. Good advice.
Wow.
If somebody's ready to date and get into a not perfect relationship, which I think is a
real
good
one.
Yeah. Where should they find you?
you can get us at, look us up at itsjustlunchdc.com.
Awesome. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks,
Great stuff.
Athena.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.